I'm Cherish. Welcome to the studio. Today we're doing a tour. Let's go. First thing you need to know about me in the studio is that I have a few must-haves. I think like 2 must-haves. So let's go over the must-haves first. The first one is that everything in here is on wheels. Like everything. Everything's on wheels. I have to have it that way because I'm one of those, I've always been one of those people like that will reorganize the entire room, and it's just fun to reorganize the entire room. So I kind of, and it's fun, and also it kind of, I feel like I've cleaned or I've gotten things kind of where they're supposed to be when I've reorged the entire room. And then most of the time, 90% of the time, I put things back to where they came from. But there's another benefit to everything being on wheels, and that is that there's some pieces of furniture in here that are kind of like transformer furniture. So I have a Husky tool cart thing, and that thing actually has a table that extends and it becomes twice its size. So I move it around because it's on wheels, and I think it weighs like 300 pounds. So I move that thing around, extend it out, and then I'm able to work on bigger projects. Like if I'm gessoing a bunch of panels or stretching big pieces of paper. It's been really good for that kind of thing where I just need to have a lot of surface area so I can work, and then when I'm done doing that work, I put it back and it's all good. The second thing that is an absolute must-have is that I need to have my tools and my paintbrushes and just all the things that I kind of have as part of making art. I need to have it out or on display. So the way I've chosen to go about it is I have like wire racks for storage. I have this wall here where you can see all my paints are up. They're on the wall, and it's like shopping. So I come in, and when I'm ready to paint, I I do that. I'll shop the wall. Or like pencils, or everything's out in a container or in some sort of, basically in some sort of container, because I need to be able to see the stuff, see the supplies, so that I use them. Because if I don't see them, I will not use them. In fact, when I'm painting, I'm going off camera real quick. In fact, when I'm painting, I tend to put the paints that I'm using actively in this tray. And then I just have them, it's kind of like more on hand. So that's why some of the parts of the wall are empty, because the paint is in the tray. And then eventually I put it back all onto the wall. And then it's like step and repeat. I do it all over again. So that is kind of the 2 must-haves that I absolutely must have in the studio. It's everything on wheels, and all the art supplies are out. Now let's get into like what's in the actual room, right? So my studio is situated in basically it's the back room of my house. So behind you is a huge window. So it gets a little bit of natural sunlight, which is great. But this is that rolling cart that I was telling you about, where I can move it around. And recently I got this easel to put over here, but also I can choose, because I can pick this easel up and move it, I can choose to just put it somewhere else so that I can do work on this table. Behind the easel is what I was talking about with putting things on display. So I'll put things in little containers like this, so that I can have all my, just have access to things really easily. And I love this because I got a labeler and I went nuts with the labeling. So if you can see it, these are oil-based pencils. These are the Caran d'Ache pencils. I love them specifically for oil painting. So what I'll do with an oil painting is I will do the underdrawing with these. If I don't want to like transfer a drawing, I'll do the underdrawing with these pencils, and then I will or I'll do corrections on a painting with these pencils. But what I do is I'll label them based on what they are, so that when I am working, I know that I can just grab it and go. and they're literally right there. So you have your oil pencils, you have your Copic markers, you have your, these are the Edding, what do you call them? They're paint markers. And you can see the thing is I need to be able to just grab it. That's the point. So all these like inks and things like that, they're all here so that I can just grab them as I'm working and I don't have to think about where is it, what am I doing with it, etc. And then, I know this is kind of a mess, but I'll show it to you. And then this is my favorite part. This is my favorite part! See that? It just rolls out of the way. So, there you go. So that thing just rolls, and I love that it rolls. I love that I can move it. So when it's kind of messy right here right now, but when it's not messy, I literally will have it fill the space and then I can just do bigger projects right here. So I was doing some construction, but what I was doing was hanging this paper. So this is literally just seamless background paper. And the reason that I have it here is because there's a giant mirror behind this wall. And working here with a mirror right next to me is just so weird. And if I could, I would take the whole thing down. But for now, I put up this paper, which I feel like is more my vibe. And the fun part is I can just change it because it's just clipped to the ceiling or whatever, and I can just change it whenever I need to. But like look how cute that is, right? I mean, there's no light over here, but look how cute that is. And one of the other things I'll be doing tonight, which is why this ladder is still here, is I'm going to hang a little thing to the ceiling so that I can take this light, which is a LED light, and put it up on the ceiling, and then in this area I have light that'll come into the area. Because it's weird, because even during the daytime it's very dark in here. So this I call the easel wall, and it's a couple of things. Basically it's a 4x8 piece of wood. I think it's not doorskin, because doorskin's a little bit thinner. I do think it's birch. But what I've done is I've affixed that birch to the wall, and basically I did it with my brat nailer and put the nails in kind of crisscross so it grabs on, and I've not had one like even a wiggle from it. But it's just a basic giant piece of birch that's on the wall, and then I made a shelf for it, and the shelf was initially it was for doing pencil sketches. And I still do pencil sketches. So like if you look at it closely, you'll see that there are grooves in the shelf, and that's so that pencils don't roll away. But essentially it's a giant easel wall, and it's really cool because I'm able to put up a couple of paintings and work on them, and I don't have to keep moving paintings around and changing what they do and how they're positioned, because I'm able to just put things up on the easel wall, and it's just perfect for what I need. It's just perfect. I love the thing. It is attached to the wall, so it's not on wheels, but if I could put it on wheels, I will put it on wheels. And I'm excited about the pegboard because it has gone through so many iterations of being a pegboard or pegboardness, and it's so good because I can take all my paints, I put them in order, white to the yellows and the pinks and all the fun stuff, and I put them in that order, and then I have this whole section down on the bottom with just like paint brushes, tape, which I have all kinds of different kinds of tape on the wall. Loads of tape. And I just got these. These are like wedges, like plastic wedges for like kind of digging into paint. And then I have a ton of palette knives. And I love this. I love that this is, again, like shopping in my own studio. Everything's out, everything's ready. I think if I put it in a drawer, I would not know that I had what I have here. Whoops, you can see that. And then you'll see all around the studio, there's things set up for filming or for holding it. So this is on my easel, and this will hold my iPad. The next section is my desk. I love this desk. is a standing desk. So you can see it's like counter height right now. I actually got rid of my chair, my like low chair, because it was causing me a lot of pain. Like my legs were on fire most days. So I got rid of my chair and I got a stool. So I sit on a stool, and it really does make it like sit stand. It really makes it easy to sit down and do my work or stand up and do my work. But the other thing I found is that I've actually gotten, like, if you're doing the step counter thing, I actually get more steps just because the option to stand is more readily available. I have the studio set up in kind of an L shape, so and it's a very long room, so the good part is that it's a decent sized room. But I have my printer here, so this is where I'll print out prints for people when they buy them. And then I also have, it's basically on a rolling cart that I built. Again, it's on wheels. I also have another section where I have a bunch of, all my stuff is out. So I have my pencils out and everything. These are Prismacolor watercolor pencils. So I used to do a lot of watercolor in this area, and I might change it up. I might put paper up here or something like that to make the printing process a little bit easier. But this is an area of the studio that has like watercolor pencils. It has gouache. It has, all my little watercolor tubes and things like that. And then underneath here is just a lot of storage for books and all sorts of things. But I kind of love that I have a section that I can, have for storage and books and things like that. I have a treadmill in my office, and it's kind of because this is the biggest room in the house, it's kind of the only place for the treadmill. I will say this though. We use this thing, okay? There's no towels hanging from this. There's no clothes hanging from this. It's in a really good spot. So we do use this thing. I have a rule where I get on this thing and I must get 4,000 steps. And I tend to watch videos on my iPad on this where I literally watch, the last video I watched on this was like triathlon, like triathlete videos or ultra runners. I also will watch art videos sometimes. It's all mood. Or I'll watch like people riding spin bikes on there because it's a good like HIIT workout. We also have a gym in our garage, but I'm not going through that whole tour. Let me know if you want me to go through that whole tour, because I will show you. Thanks very much for watching the video. I appreciate you so much. I will be back next week with something new and something fun. I do think that there's more that I can show you in the studio, like for example, what is that thing right there? But I'm going to save that for another video. Anyway, I appreciate you so much. I will see you soon. Have a great day. Bye now.